It's a dog-eat-dog world, or so the saying goes. While true, the world is also filled with those who care for others and want to help. There was once a little girl who desperately needed an emergency blood transfusion to save her life. Her only chance of surviving was for her to get a transfusion from her younger brother, who had the antibodies in his bloodstream necessary to fight the illness. The doctor explained to the 5-year-old boy that it would save his sister's life if he were to give her his blood. The boy hesitated for a moment, and slowly he agreed to give his blood if it would save his sister. This was scary, but he would do anything to help his big sis. As the blood transfusion was happening, he lay next to his sister in the hospital and was overcome with happiness when he saw the color coming back to her cheeks. Then he looked up at the doctor and quietly asked, "When will I start to die?" The boy had assumed that he was giving his life in order to save hers. The little boy's parents were astonished over the misunderstanding that led the boy to think they were choosing his sister over him, and even more astonished that he'd agreed to do so. The doctor replied, explaining that he was not going to die. He was just going to allow his sister to live a long, healthy life alongside him. And here's the lesson. Appreciate every person that loves and cares for you. You may never know how much they're willing to sacrifice for your well-being. If you are someone that truly wants to make a difference, to change a life, then here's a simple method on how to do just that. So when it comes to changing a life, there's a million ways it can happen. But here's a simple process. There's 2 steps to it, and the first is discovery. You have to pay attention. Notice clues. This could be something simple, like a person being excessively tired, or something extremely concerning, like bruises that might indicate abuse. Recognize the trouble areas. It could be that they have tattered clothing. It could be that they're walking everywhere they go, or that it's clear that they're struggling with deep sadness. Don't shy away from becoming involved. Next, you have to dig. Explore the issues. Find out what's going on. Recognize where the problems are in their lives. Ask a lot of questions. You'd be surprised how often people want someone to ask, but no one does. In kindness, do this. Don't do it like you're prying, like you're trying to draw information out of them, but show genuine care. And also, as part of the digging, check out their environment. Talk to people that are part of their lives, people that can give you more information or maybe a clearer picture, particularly about things the person may not be comfortable talking about. Next, listen. Listen to what they say and listen to what they don't say. Recognize the areas where they struggle to share their heart, where they become emotional talking about something going on in their life or something that should be happening but isn't. Ensure that the person feels heard, and ensure that you truly understand the problem. The second part is action. Once you've discovered the issues, take action. Talk. First you listen, then you talk. And the talking is teaching. Give supportive comments. Let them know that you're there and that you care. And also, challenge faulty thinking when necessary. Maybe someone is doing something that's very dangerous. A young woman who's walking across town late at night in order to get to her job. She feels there's no other option. But you may need to let her know there are some real dangers out there. Share your own experience. Share the life lessons that you've learned. And then point them to solutions and to other sources of support. Next, show love. It's such a simple thing to do and it costs nothing. Demonstrate genuine compassion. Not just words, not just saying, I love you, I care about you, but demonstrate that. Practice acceptance of the person while attacking the problem. Some people are ashamed of the circumstances that they're facing. Let them know that there's nothing to be ashamed of, that you completely accept them, but it's just an area that they have to fix and don't have to live with anymore. Sometimes you might need to, as part of this whole love thing, is to take a few punches. Hurting people hurt people. So it's very possible that someone could lash out at you because they're upset or because they're hurting, but you can't take this personal. Instead, show kindness. And be persistent. Love never fails. It never gives up. This is a process, and it may take some time. The other thing you need to do is to protect. So recognize threats to a person's well-being that they might not even see. Make them aware of the dangers. Make them aware of the problems. Help them to avoid the pitfalls that they're facing. And when you're able, actively block the threats. Going back to that young woman, maybe you could be the one that gives them a ride. Maybe you could be the one that helps them get transportation. Be the one that stands in the gap and that protects someone from the dangers that they're facing. Also, provide. You can provide comfort. You can provide encouragement. And you can provide necessities when you're able. Food, clothing, shelter, all of these are things that most of us can give to someone in need. And so back up your love, demonstrate that love by meeting those needs. Lastly, stay connected. Make it clear that they can reach out to you when needed. Let them know that you're available. And even once the situation is resolved, take the time to follow up with them periodically. Note that many of these steps overlap. They're not necessarily going to be in that order, and you'll probably have to repeat several of these steps in order for the change to begin to take place. Rinse and repeat. Give without consideration of repayment. Remember that many times in your life, your help came from those you could not repay. So, just as you pay it forward, encourage the person you're helping to do the same. Lastly, don't lose heart. When you go fishing, you never catch them all. But if you put enough lifelines in the water, you're bound to change one. Until next time, don't just be transformed, be kinged.